Welcome to the Got Trauma Podcast with your hosts, Courtney K. and Monica Newland.
Courtney from the Got Trauma Podcast. So, our co-host, our lovely Monica, is out sick. And in her place tonight is my beautiful Aunt Lori. We actually have a pretty interesting backstory. So my dad was adopted, and I decided to do one of those Ancestry DNA things. And well, I found this beautiful creature. So, she has been very kind to sit in tonight and join us for some conversation about what we haven't really decided. We're winging this one for sure, which I'm good with.
Like our usual 2-hour conversations.
Exactly. What kind of insight can we conjure here? Is really what it's about, right? So yeah. Aunt Lori, tell us where you're from. Tell us about yourself.
Oh, thanks.
I'm sorry. I know I didn't really prepare you for that, did I?
No,
that was a dick move.
What? Yeah, it was really.
The microphone made me do it.
I'm going to shove that thing down your throat.
Seriously, who makes a microphone that looks like a dick? Thanks, guys.
Yeah, well, you bought it.
Well, I didn't know it was going to look like a dick until I had my mouth in front of it, and then I was like, this looks like a dick.
Okay, so my background, grew up in Muskoka, same as you, which is really bizarre.
Yes.
The fact that that your dad and I basically lived no more than 30, 40 minutes apart for our entire lives.
Yeah, that still blows my mind to this day.
Yeah, me too. Yep. Yeah. So right now I'm in central Ontario. What, an hour and a half away from you?
Yeah. Everybody I love is south of me.
Yes.
No, I have lots of friends here. Like, I'm just kidding. But like family, everybody is south of me for the most part.
Yeah. Well, we all get up there when we can. So
yes, you do, which I'm very grateful for.
Yeah, and you're going to owe me big time on Easter Monday.
I know. Extra cheese on those scalloped potatoes.
Damn right. Oh, and Haley, I want that dessert.
So just to sort of like backtrack everybody, Monica wasn't feeling well, and we were going to do a skip episode, and then we decided, okay, we'll get Haley to do an episode, like a mother and daughter thing. And then she's 20, so she had 5 bajillion plans, even though she made plans with me. And she's like, oh shit, I forgot I have to go to the bar with 5 other people. And I was like, oh. So I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? And I'm like, I don't want to do this myself. I literally envisioned that scene in Wayne's World where do you know what I'm talking about? Where Wayne walks off set and Garth is sitting there going, like, I'm like, that's gonna be me if I have to do this alone. So, I'm like, remember when they had tongues and then they gave birth to baby tongues? And I was like, fuck, I can't do that. So, hey, Lori, what you up to? Let's talk some smack. See what we come up with. So yeah.
Not to make it sound like you don't know how old your daughter is, but she's 21 now, right?
I know. God.
Yeah.
I know. I should be more in tune to her plans. It's funny because like I feel like you just don't. I mean, like I know I need to have a lot of planning in place before I do things nowadays. But I think back to the days where someone's like, hey, you want to go to the bar? Or, hey, you want to go do something cool? And I was like, yeah, on the fly, sure.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like looking at her like, how do you do these things? And I'm like, oh, wait, you don't have all these other things to commit to. You bitch. Like,
it's worse as you get to my age.
I'm like, you damn bitch. You're so lucky. What's that like? I should know. I should remember, but it's funny how you just like forget those things. And
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
and then I always get like mildly offended too, because I'm just like, oh, you're just gonna ignore me for your friends. Okay. All sad about it. And I'm like, wait a minute, bitch, you did the same thing. Settle down.
Yep.
Let her be. So yeah, I'm not holding this against her, because she was gonna do it, and then she just she got caught up in her daily life of being young and vigorous.
Young and carefree and
and here we are, old and drinking water. Or tea. I'm not sure what you got in your cup.
Actually, it's coffee. Or so I say.
or maybe it's not.
No, it is.
That's to be determined as the conversation goes on.
Exactly.
Oh man.
So why don't we tell people like our connection?
Yes. So our connection has been incredible. When I did the ancestry, I found out that I had 5 paternal aunts and 1 maternal aunt. And luckily enough, I have been able to meet mostly everyone. I have a plethora of cousins, which is amazing. And it's hard, I think, because, all of a sudden when you discover this new person exists, you're sort of like, what do I do?
Yeah.
And when I did the ancestry, just for background, like my dad was adopted, so that's why I did Ancestry DNA, was because I wanted to know my backstory and his backstory. So I was really surprised at what I found out, because I thought it was going to be a needle in a haystack, that I would be like, I'll never know anything. And then voila. And then like our relationship really developed because we had so many crazy similarities in how we grew up, and how our mothers were both very similar, with narcissistic tendencies, which was like wild for me, especially when you were describing some of how you felt, like anxiety wise. And I was like, oh my God, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It was very parallel, which I found incredible. Right. And it's funny because I'm like, does that make us trauma bonded? Like, is there a way of being healthily trauma bonded? Like, because I feel like this is a very good, healthy relationship.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, like, some of the pretenses of how this relationship develops, through trauma. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it kind of like,
it was, well, you weren't the first to contact me.
no.
It was one of your cousins.
Yes.
From your dad's side that contacted me on Ancestry. And I was like, no, this isn't, like, they've made a mistake.
Yeah.
So I just kind of put it off to the side. But then you and I started talking. And when it all came together, it was like
yeah,
incredible. Things started to make sense. I was really, really angry at the beginning, as you know, just because I was never told that I had another half brother, because my half brother that I knew, that I grew up with, he was 15 years older than me. He was the oldest. And then 5 years after him was your dad.
That's right.
And then 10 years after your dad came me.
Yeah.
So I was just my older brother, Ricky. He was killed in a car crash when I was 6. I'd already had a lot of issues with um, just trauma and anxiety and things up to
Yeah.
that point. But that was really the start of the worst of it. So fast forward until a few years ago when you and I met, the anger was just so intense
I remember that.
because I had never been told, and it was, your dad had already passed by the time you and I met,
Yeah.
and I was like,
Well, you're
what was going
robbed,
to
right?
change? Yeah, exactly. I felt robbed because I always wanted siblings.
Yeah.
And like I hated growing up as a quote unquote only child after my older brother died. So yeah, it took me a while to get over the anger, but in the meantime, getting to know you and your kids, and just it it was like we've always known each other, which
Yeah.
is so bizarre.
It is bizarre. It really
Really,
is.
yeah. And then all of the similarities that we've had growing
Yes.
up. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
really,
the parallel is very is incredible.
yeah.
And like we've had discussions about coming into into each other's lives at times in like healing journey. you know like you were talking about, like you were kind of stuck in your healing journey, and then it's wild. It's funny how the universe, it's like, does it like I'm all about, I do think like everything happens for a reason.
Mhm.
Sometimes I don't understand it, and sometimes I think it's kind of cruel how it plays out.
Yeah, but I don't
But
think we're meant to understand it.
no, exactly. I think we just need to, kind of be grateful for, when it comes as it comes, kind of thing. It's sometimes hard because, like you said, to go back to that, the anger part, because I also felt that way because I felt robbed, not knowing any of these things. Um, sorry, I teared up there. So now my
Yeah.
sinuses are just like, I gotta catch up with the tears. Thanks, guys. Um, so,
Yeah,
but
don't you start because you know what
I know.
that's gonna be.
Well, I know I was sitting here like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And I felt it coming, and now I'm all stuffed up. I just sound like I walked into a pile of ragweed or something. But anyways, it is what it is. But yeah, like I do understand that anger portion, because that's how I felt too. And kind of on my dad's side, because when I had asked my dad, I want to know where you came from, and he was so objective. Like he was just like, I don't want to know. And I was like, well, why don't you want to know? And again, I'm a young kid, I don't really understand, like, why wouldn't you want to know until you get into the dynamics, and you understand what rejection is and everything else, and then you're like, oh, this is why you didn't want to know. Okay, now I understand. um so
Yeah,
it's
it's
sort
hard
of,
enough to go through because your dad was older when he found out he was adopted.
well, that, yeah, and that was a
And
huge,
that was huge.
that was really bad for him.
And to
Really, really
feel
bad.
rejection, and then to feel that, well, if I reach out to find my birth
Yeah.
family, am I setting myself up for a second rejection?
Hmm.
And that is more than I think most people could handle.
No, exactly. And that was, again, when he told me about finding out he was adopted, like most people find out when they're like mostly before 10. Most kids find out before 10. And my dad didn't find out until he was 17 years old. And it wasn't brought up in a, like, hey, son, let me take you out and plow some hay, because they grew up on a farm, or milk some cows or whatever it was. It was at the dinner table. And it was one of his aunts that was like, I think it's time we tell Dad the truth. And it was one of my dad's favorite aunts, who I believe was my grandfather's sister, Nan. And he's like, the truth about what? And they told him, and it fucking rocked him. It rocked him.
Yep.
After that happened, and this is coming from him to me. This is how he told me. He just lost. He felt lost. And back then, adoption laws were super, like, closed. There was literally no way of finding any information out. And I found documents to actually back that up. And I think that was really hard for him, because he was really struggling, not understanding anything. And then, it affected him further on in life.
Yep.
Drugs,
absolutely.
alcohol, manic depression, all those things. And I truly believe, knowing what I know, and especially like us connecting and putting all the pieces together, the biggest thing for him was just not ever feeling like he had a place in life.
Yeah.
He just didn't know. He just didn't. I mean, I gave him, like, according to him, I definitely gave him a piece of him that he knew, that he could push through and push forward with, because I was part of him. So, and he always,
stop.
Don't choke up. But yeah, like, it's in that dynamic, it was really, it was hard.
Yeah.
He struggled with that a lot.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. It's not an easy thing to deal with, especially so late in life, being told.
Yeah.
I mean, teenage years are hard enough without that shit being thrown on you.
Oh God.
No, you were definitely, and it's funny how, because I have no other siblings, Ricky died before he had kids. So you are my blood. And I don't take that lightly. It's like, oh shit. Okay.
Oh my God. Everybody's going to think we've been sitting here like hammering lines back. The amount I'm going, like, just trying to suck back all the snot, because I'm like, don't cry. Don't start crying.
You can hear some of our phone conversations.
Oh my God.
We're either rolling on the floor laughing, or we're bawling our eyes out.
Oh my God, I know. It's such a
shit together.
Oh man. But yeah, no,
you are like the daughter to me that I never had, because I didn't have any kids. I have no other nieces or nephews, so you're it, kiddo. Happy for you.
I'm happy about it.
Good.
Doesn't hurt my feelings.
You have no choice in the situation.
I am aware.
You opened a door that could not be closed.
Yeah. This is a Pandora's box, bitch.
Oh.
No.
I was going to say something about that microphone again, but I won't.
Oh, honestly, it's so, because I was so excited about it. I was like, yay, I'm going to order this microphone and it will be pink because I love pink. And then I'm like, really? Really?
Is it pink or is it flush?
It looks like something. Ah! Oh, my daughter is home and she just barged in.
Oh, You owe
Tia
me
is home.
time. I want double dessert on Monday dinner.
I can't hear what she's saying.
She said she wants double dessert on Monday because you stood me up and she had to stand in for you.
I'll make you a big mini coffee cake. You're gonna have the biggest one.
She'll make you a big mini coffee cake.
Exactly. No, it was funny because I was telling Wide about it too, and Wide was like, "I love coffee cakes. You better make that." I'm like, "I am making."
Yeah, Haley made amazing coffee cake the other day. Like,
I
blow
know.
your mind.
Actually,
I
you gave me a
know,
good idea. It's like
that's
so instead of
what
like,
I'm
milk,
referring
you should
to.
Baileys.
Yes, well, she'll make one for you for sure.
Oh,
I
right.
will. Put some Baileys in there too.
What's that?
I'll get it. I said I'll put some Baileys in there too.
Oh, very nice.
Everybody.
Oh, she's gonna
Ooh.
jazz it right up.
Get everybody all
Very
crunk.
nice.
Okay, I love you.
I love you. I'll see you in a bit.
Yes.
I don't think I'm going to cut any of that out either. I'm just going to let all of this ride.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, y'all. You're literally in for the ride tonight. Tonight, I think we should call this episode The Ride. Like,
Right.
that's what it is.
We've had a few of those. Okay, I want to say something here.
Yes, please.
And this is just so bizarre. As we had said, your dad and I grew up like 20, 30 minutes away from each other our whole lives. And it occurred to me not long after you and I met, because your dad used to play in a band.
Yep.
My local bar where we basically hung out every weekend, your dad's band played there. And I remember seeing the band there. And I mean, this is a little tiny venue, just, like maybe 50, 75 people.
Yeah.
And so like I remember seeing your dad playing in the band, having absolutely no clue that he was my brother.
That's so fucking wild. It's really weird because all of a sudden I just had this like weird memory come back to me. Now, that wasn't a place that burnt down, was it?
No.
Okay, I think we've talked about this before, and for
We
some
did,
reason,
yeah.
there was a weird like episode where, anyways, I feel like I have to explain it now just because I talked too much, but there was this weird episode where like my, like we talked, my dad played in a band and he played like all over Muskoka, but there was this one evening for whatever reason, my mom was like, don't go play. There's going to be a fire. And again, I can't back this up because I actually have no idea. But apparently wherever he was supposed to go play, they canceled it. And then there was a big fire there that night. And for whatever reason, the red dog was always what I thought she said.
Yeah.
But it was not.
No, it's gone, but not by fire.
Yeah, so I apologize that just like popped in my head, and my adult ADD would not let me move forward until I spit that out. So I apologize.
So yeah, that's another commonality. We both have high anxiety. We both have ADHD. What else? PTSD.
Yeah, all of those things.
What else? We both have the same strange sense of humor.
Yes, we do.
Oh, and some of the things, it's always freaked me out. Sometimes when I say something and you'll say to me like, oh my God, my dad used to say that.
Oh yeah, it freaks me out when you say it and I'm like, ugh. I love it though. Like I can't explain how it feels, but I love that because it's just that it's like almost that what's the word? Not affirmation. How do you say that word? It's not affirmation, but like reaffirming, but there's a different, or is it reaffirming? Maybe it's reaffirming.
It's reaffirming, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like reaffirming that,
that we are.
Yes, reaffirmation. That reaffirmation. Yeah, I figured it out.
It's something that we are related.
Yes. Yes. Not that I really need that, but just those.
No. I think we kind of figured that out the very first time we actually met in person.
I feel like anybody that's going to actually watch this episode is going to look at the two of us and be like, you bitches are definitely related. Like, I can see it.
I can hear it.
I can hear it and I can see it. Are you sure you're not sisters? Like maybe twins. I don't know.
Well, they do run in now.
What's that?
I said they do run in your family now.
Well, actually, no. It's funny because I looked into that too, but the whole twin thing, because I was like, oh, I thought twins were like a phenomenon of genetics. Identical twins are that way. Fraternal twins are basically like,
Freak
you're
of nature.
getting old, bitch. So we're gonna ovulate until all the eggs are out. And, yeah, spitting them all out from all directions. And, you know, if a couple sperm are up for the challenge, guess what? You're gonna have two of them. So, maybe more.
Look at it this
Depends
way.
on the egg sperm ratio going on there. So that's not 100% technical. I did add a little bit of glamour to that, but I mean, that's kind of how it was. Kind of how it was like.
We're not going to have you leading the next baby and me session.
Why not? Maybe there would be less babies. I don't know.
That possibility.
Not that anybody shouldn't be having babies. I'm not saying that. But if you want to be scared into not having them, talk to me. I can help you there. Let me guide you. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
That was funny.
The very first time that we met, I remember your mother-in-law thinking that, like, she couldn't believe that we had never met before.
Yeah.
She kept thinking that, like, you know, we'd known each other for a very long time just because of our
the connection. Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I remember that.
To people looking from the outside, it was probably
it was very validating.
It was, yes, very much so.
I feel like it was very validating because, I mean, both of us obviously were super apprehensive. And I think when you're meeting people for the first time, especially when you're family, you kind of have this narrative in your head. You're like, oh, am I good enough for them? Are they going to want to be with me? Are they going to care about me? You know, and it's amazing. Stop choking me up. But when you, fuck's sakes, when you have that moment and all of that is gone. And, you know, you're like, it's gone. And you're just left with like kind of sitting across from somebody. Oh my God, stop it. It's finally gonna choke me up. I can no longer control.
Let it go.
What is gonna happen here? When you're looking at somebody, you can see like the characteristics, and especially for me, because like my dad was my heart and soul.
Yeah.
You know, and you feel like you're a part of him, right? So I'm talking to him in a very different way, but also a way that connects so much to me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just it's a really, really amazing and overwhelming a journey. And I think that anybody who, you know, finds people on Ancestry and all of a sudden, like, you do have this sort of like, what's the word? Just like I was saying, you have this vision in your mind of how this meeting is going to go, and you put so much emphasis into it. And
Well, there's always apprehension in anything.
exactly, that's the word I was trying to,
anything like that. But
I was
it's
trying to
funny
come up with that.
because the day that I came up to meet you the first time when we had everybody there, I wasn't the least bit apprehensive at that point. I had already passed all that.
Yeah. I knew as soon as you got out of the car, like you were just like on. Yeah. Yeah. No, and I felt the same way too.
Excited.
Oh yeah, no, that's exactly how I felt too. I think what I was trying to, what I wanted to sort of put out there was I had visions in my mind when I was looking for my dad's biological parents. I had very unrealistic ideas of what I was going to find. Mainly because I'm a Pisces. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
So I'm just like off in this like beautiful dreamland of absolute, what are we talking about today? Like I literally pictured I was going to meet my, elderly grandma and grandpa. Like I just want to like paint you the picture of what I put in my head. I was going to meet this old couple. They're going to be on a porch swing, probably drinking sweet tea. First of all, I'm Canadian. Where the fuck did that come from? Get out of your, like, who are you? Nobody in Muskoka sits on a fucking porch swing drinking sweet tea. Nobody even likes that shit here. What the hell? But here's my vision. And it was very prominent. I'm going to meet this old, this old man, this old woman. And I feel like I wanted them to be Southern. I don't know why. But I think just old Graham and Gramp from the South just seemed like a fucking treat. I'm not really sure, but that's what I had visioned in my head. And then that was not obviously what was to be at all. And I was thoroughly disappointed that this unrealistic vision that I had, laid out was not not coming to fruition at all.
Both parents died, so
yeah. Well, that's just it. Like, I think I'd hope that they would just be like these little biddies that were still just, grandma's gonna like hobble over to me with her little, hunched over back, and she just made some bread or some like maybe a cobbler, because I'm still in the South at this point. This ridiculously unrealistic vision. And not that I was disappointed by any means. I was very overwhelmed by the love that I received from everyone. Once everybody found out, like, oh, here's this other cousin that's just come out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
And everybody was amazing and receptive. And then it was, again, really important, like, because you were sort of the last of the Mohicans that I found. And that dynamic was really important to me because she is inevitably who gave him up, right?
Yeah.
So I needed to know the maternal backstory.
Yeah.
That was very important to me because I knew that is what afflicted my dad so much in life. It wasn't so much about his father. It was the mother aspect. He had a huge mother wound.
Yeah.
Which I inherently I also have. So, I mean, you talk about things being passed down the line. It's true.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
Whether it's seen or not seen, it's a big, it does pass down the line.
Maybe
so
in future episodes, we can maybe lay out a clear
yes
of just how far back our anxiety gene goes.
Yes. I think that would be a great episode. I think people would
Yeah,
love that.
because that's been passed down through multiple generations. So it's there's a lot of shit that we've uncovered, but it's been an amazing, amazing healing journey for both of us.
It has been, absolutely.
Like, I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm no longer going through this journey alone.
Yeah.
And that's been extremely powerful. So it's, shut up.
Like I said, I already sound like I've been on the old Coke bender all night. Viewer discretion advised if you're listening to this, because I'm not trying to be offensive, but I'm literally like the entire time. So if you don't actually watch this and you listen to it, this is me choking back emotion.
Yeah.
Okay? It's not the C drip. It's the E drip from all the emotion I'm taking in tonight. That's what you're hearing. I just want to be clear.
Well, on that note, do we have anything else we want to disclose?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I feel like we're pretty awesome in our banter and our chit chat. So I definitely would love to do
quite tame compared to our
we are definitely tame, but you're a lot more held back too, because I mean, I'm putting you on the spot and making you like record something with me. So that's super awkward. I'm like, hey, let me just put you right on the spot here.
See, I grew up in an era where we could do shit and nobody would record it.
Well, welcome to this era. You're not so lucky here. No, but I really appreciate you coming on and talking with me, and that was a lot of laughs. A lot of laughs and a lot of snorting. Sorry, everybody, but it happened. I don't even think I'm going to edit this one. I think it was just I loved it. It was great. And I love you. And we should do more we should have an Auntie Lori's corner.
Yep.
Just have snorting laughs with emotional.
Yeah.
Hold it back.
Once I get more comfortable in this format, then God help everybody.
This is a true story. God help everyone.
Remember, I'm the favorite aunt.
You know I'm going to have to cut that out for the other aunt's sakes, right? Oh my God. No, all my other aunties, you know I love you. You know I do. We're just playing jokes. Just playing jokes. All right, well, I love you, and
it's an inside joke. Love you too.
Namaste, and thank you. You're just crazy. Okay, bye. Oh my God.
How do I end this thing?
I was like, end session. Okay.
Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit those subscribe and share buttons. We'll see you at the next one.